welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Brendan, and this is Esper Stoneblade featuring the Aetherspark. The Aetherspark is a brand new card from Aetherdrift, and it is something that we've never seen before. It's a planeswalker that is an equipment. That means it does something kind of fine on its own. You can't just cast it like a planeswalker and plus and minus its abilities. But you can also tutor it with Stoneforge Mystic, search your deck for an equipment, and then for 1 and a white you can put it into play from your hand. And then it gets crazy. We just haven't seen a card like this before. As long as the Aetherspark is attached to a creature, it can't be attacked and has whenever equipped creature deals damage during your turn, put that many loyalty counters on the Aetherspark. So it's safe as long as it's not a creature. Safe from being attacked anyway. Your opponent can still lightning bolt it, I suppose, and kill it. But this could very quickly result in a lot of loyalty, and that is reflected in the abilities. They are kind of moderate and expensive. The plus is attach the Aetherspark up to one target creature you control, put a +1 counter on that creature. That's kind of important because there's not really huge creatures in this deck. We have Kaldra, but that means our second Stoneforge Mystic would have had to get the Aetherspark to then equip to our untouchable 6/6 to then draw 2 cards. That's a lot of work to get to this -5 draw 2. Cryptic Coat, these creatures have 3 power. That's pretty solid, but Bowmaster, Stoneforge, Tamiyo, these have 0 or 1 power. That +1 counter is going to do a lot of work here. And of course it stacks. If you don't want to draw cards, you can just keep putting +1 counters onto your Stoneforge Mystic and keep cracking in there, and then the loyalty snowballs over time. This starts on 4 loyalty, so it doesn't take long to get to 5. And if you are just teeing off with a 3 or 4 power creature, you're going to draw a lot of cards pretty quickly. And obviously the game would also end pretty quickly. But it does read whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage, not to a player, just combat damage. This is Umezawa's Jitte templating. If your opponent's in chump block mode, you're going to be cranking out those divinations. I can't imagine why we would need 10 mana in this deck. Maybe to cast a Kaldra that ended up in hand somehow, but I see this mostly as a powerful, repeatable source of power and toughness on your board, and then eventually a card draw engine if you can get the power and toughness rolling. Just a pretty cool thing that we've never quite seen before. The rest of the deck is pretty expected. Esper Stoneblade, of course, Tamiyo, just the base of most blue decks in Legacy right now. Thoughtseize, Plow, Force, the good interaction, Ponder Brainstorm, the good selection. This deck does feature 4 Wastelands and a Daze, so we're getting a little low here, rather than like 4 to 6 basic lands, and then the Daze would be some other sort of late game interaction. This is meant to be a little more disruptive, a little lower to the ground, somewhere where the Aetherspark giving +1 counters could actually swing the tide of battle. I'm excited to play this card. Let's do this league, and we'll see it a lot because we have 4 tutors for it. Good stuff. I'm on the draw in round 1, and I have some decisions to make because I'm not afraid of a 1-lander with Brainstorm, and I really like having an early Thoughtseize just in general in Magic. But if I fetch Underground Sea, then these 4 white cards in my hand are uncastable. And there are no Lorien Revealeds and no Surveil lands in this list to help this situation out. It really does have to just happen, but there are 21 lands in the deck. I'm going to keep this. We also got I'm on a spicy one, Mr. Bosh, let's battle in the chat, which makes me kind of incentivized to keep a Thoughtseize. And my opponent's username is Bomberman99. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. That one doesn't matter much. Oh, okay. Let's go. I'm just gonna punch this Urza Saga. Opponent took a mulligan, then they played Soul Guide Lantern. They're basically down 2 cards here. Marsh Flats. Thoughtseize. Uh-oh. I suspect I'll lose my Brainstorm here unless they really need their hand to stay safe. Then I'd lose my Thoughtseize. But my hand is just a wall of permanent interaction. The plow, the ending. Being a Bomberman in this economy is going to be rough. If that is what's actually happening. Who took the Stoneforge? Okay, so they're going for the long game. If they're not under pressure, they think that favors them most. And now I am way less worried about having white mana, because Stoneforge is the thing I would like to curve into. Ancient Tomb, Deafening Silence. Oh my god, what are we doing over there? I guess I'll take the Deafening Silence, even though I can't imagine caring about it. Oh no, what a good draw. I drew a Tamiyo. I think in Brainstorm for the land, or play Tamiyo, Brainstorm, flip the Tamiyo. Alright. I'm going to put Tamiyo down. I think having access to this is worth missing a land drop for. I do have 4 Wastelands in my deck. There are 3 left in there. Bomberman would not play Deafening Silence, because I would bring in Deafening Silence to stop Bomberman. It's fascinating. Okay. I think I'm just getting tunnel vision on their username, but also every card they've played does seem to indicate. The Bomberman, by the way, for those uninitiated, is Auriok Salvagers and Lion's Eye Diamond combo. Okay, here we go. Fudge. All right. Well, the game is over. That was a lot of looks at not finding a useful card, but okay. Wrath of Sky is great against Urza Saga. I really don't know enough here to make informed decisions. I have Consigned to Memories. Harbinger of the Seas might be a banger. Opponent said, better luck in game 2, please, and unrelated to the match, fuck sewing Mycospawn. Amen to that. I'm so confused about the Deafening Silence. I'm going to board out Force of Negation for Wrath of the Skies. That's definitely happening. I feel like Consigned to Memory is going to be good here, but that might just be because I got soloed by a pair of Urza Sagas. Would a Karn deck play Deafening Silence? It's so confusing. What is that doing? Is there like a lock piece? Like every time I see a main deck Deafening Silence or Rule of Law effect, I think about like Possibility Storm or something like that. We saw white and black mana. I think I'm going to go minus the Swords of Plowshares plus the Consigned to Memory. That just ups my blue count a little bit and moves the interaction, shifts the interaction a little bit. I don't even know. I'm just going to hit submit. When you get soloed by a land, there's not a whole lot of information to work off of. Okay, I like this hand. This one does stuff. I'm just going to hold up Consigned to Memory going into their turn. I don't know if this is going to be a Chalice of the Void deck. I saw Ancient Tomb, so anything could happen. Right, Urza Saga. I'm probably going to just counter Chapter 2. And now I get to Ponder as well. That's fun. Ponder. Oh, that's better. I will put Wasteland in my hand and simply waste the Urza Saga and be done with it. That's just like countering Chapter 2, except doesn't cost me any mana and actually answers the problem. All right, the second saga. Opponent has the type. Force of Will in my hand. Flooded Strand in play. I am just going to counter Chapter 2. If there's no sagas, I feel okay with that. Or no constructs, I feel okay with that world. Not having a Surveil land in the list is just a mistake. I tinkered with the spells that Brendan sent me, but in a 21 land deck, I didn't even think to look. And somehow, 15, 16 months after Murders of Karlov Manor came out, I'm still not hardwired to check for a Surveil land. I'm hardwired to put them in mana bases I build, but I'm not hardwired to check for them. One of these Tundras should just be an archive. Okay, here we go. Counter this, which might not even be right, but it does take a lot of pressure off. Ancient Tomb, Umezawa's Jitte. Is it the Mirror? The top of my deck is a land right now, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember which one, but I'm pretty sure I don't want it. Oh, I do want that. So my opponent, Urza Saga, they could tutor something. Yeah, all right, I'll waste the Ancient Tomb, put them to 0 mana, and I'm going to tutor the Aetherspark, because I already have Cauldra, and I would probably tutor Aetherspark for content regardless. Though Cryptic Code is probably actually correct, because then I would have blue card for Force. I think Cauldra is correct if I didn't have it already, and Cryptic Code is the backup. Retrofitter Foundry, okay. This is something the Aetherspark can just mash into. It's also something that could pick up an Umezawa's Jitte. I gotta respect that. Okay, I no longer have to respect that. I should just tee off with Cauldra, so I will. And then Cauldra can hold the Aetherspark next turn. And then I'm actually just divinationing every turn. If the game even goes that long. We don't know what phase 2 of their plan is yet. But we are about to get a lesson in why Umezawa's Jitte doesn't hold up in present-day Legacy. My opponent spent 2 mana to cast this card. They're going to spend 2 mana to equip it, and I'm going to eat their 4 mana with a singular 1 mana effect. The third Urza Saga, but it does kill City of Traders on the way out. I'm quite happy with that. Alright, yeah, here's the equip. Here's the eat. They can flip it into a Thopter, but that doesn't matter. The point is that it's dealt with. Can I draw the land to do it all? Nope, but I'm still going to do it all. I might still draw a land this turn, actually. It's the Spark. We're doing it. Equipped to my Phyrexian Germ, which is now a 6/6. This thing will have... Oh, wait, no, I don't get to draw cards this turn. That would be too easy. I am going to plow this Thopter before they can flip it into a Construct, though. I do care about that one. Right, this is a Planeswalker ability to equip. But now I'm going to Divination every turn. Though there aren't that many turns left in the game. Unless my opponent has a Swords to Plowshares, which they haven't cast yet, and now I have Force Backup. Okay, I'm going to start by drawing 2 cards. Just get paid. If they've got a Bowmaster, I've got a Bowmaster for them. Fetch in response. Swords to Plowshares, alright. Definitely should have done that before I untapped with my Force of Will. But I'm happy it worked out for the good guy. That's me. No offense, opponent. You seem nice, but you are the bad guy here. Sweet. Okay, we saw basic planes, but... And Triple Urza Saga is really annoying. This can exile target enchantment. Yeah, their deck is full of artifacts and enchantments. I should have Exercise in. Daze does not seem very good against them. Consign to Memory. I actually am getting the impression that this might be an Aetherspark deck. They have all the infrastructure to cast big colorless spells. We saw Ancient Tomb and City of Traders. We saw Umezawa's Jitte, which you probably don't put in without Stoneforge. They're white and black mana. Like, this could be a pseudo mirror. In that case, do I want the Plowback that I cut? I cut that thinking we were more against combo. Daze could be just horrendous against them. Like, it's either going to counter a 4-drop for free, or it's going to be completely blank. Those are the modes of Daze in a matchup like this one. This might not get grindy enough for pre-war formal wear. That could be a spot where I find some additional removal. Get this Plowback in. Okay, I will try this. Still not quite sure what their deck does, other than play Urza Saga. Love my hand. This is what I want hands of Legacy to look like. Just at a baseline level of what do I think a healthy Legacy looks like, I get to keep hands like this one, is my answer. Snow Plains. Just run that Tamiyo out there. Enlighten Tutor, let's go. This might tutor for Urza Saga, but I have the Exercise, so it's okay. Urza Saga makes Enlighten Tutor really exciting, where it's like, normally you would just counter what comes out of the tutor and cost them their draw step by letting it resolve, but they could get this thing that's not a spell. Swords to Plowshares. I think I should force this, actually. Because if I spend this turn exercising their Urza Saga, then Tamiyo gets to roll, and I'm also Stone Raining them, and him to Taraking them. You don't get both. Well, you kind of do. Because they spent Enlightened Tutor, which is a card, to then draw this Urza Saga, which I'm going to answer. The old him to Tarak Stone Rain, aka Smallpox. Exile target enchantment with the sideboard card that I thought of at the last minute. Okay. I have 1 clue's worth of card advantage in the bank, and then a handful of conditionally interactive spells. Okay, Stoneforge. We deduced that one correctly. Show me that Aetherspark. Do you have one too? You probably just get Cauldra here, let's be serious. Batterskull. Alright. Another land. That means I can crack a clue or play Bowmaster in addition to removing this Stoneforge Mystic, which I'm going to do. I could consign to memory the Living Weapon trigger off Batterskull and just make them spend another 5 mana before that does anything, or I could make it so they never had it in the first place. I think I want to run out Bowmaster and keep the pressure flowing, and then I can draw cards later. but they're not actually dying right now because Tamiyo has 0 power. Opponent's good at drawing Urza Saga. I'm good at drawing Swords to Plowshares. I'm going to pretend this is the one I sideboarded back in. Figured it out. Here comes the attack. Pushing actual damage now, and I'm just going to leave up my mana. If I draw a card and it's a land, then I can crack another clue and flip Tamiyo, or I can just hold up the interaction that I have and crack a clue in the end step, at which point I can leave up Tundra and still have access to both the spells I have. Okay, we're giving up City of Traders. What's the 4-drop? Humility. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not ready for that one. I'll draw a card. And, well, this game just got spicy. That does make Orc Army and Tamiyo bigger, which is really funny. Like, both of them just have more power than they used to. All the pieces have come together. I get it now. I see what's going on. I'm not going to play Stoneforge because it doesn't matter. And it's a 1-1. But I think drawing cards with my clue is the important part here. Pithing Needle. Well, you can't name clue token with that. You have to name a card, and tokens are not cards. They named the Aetherspark. Yeah, I can see how that would be a concerning card from this position. 1 land away from just going off. I still have some clues to munch on. Wasteland's insane here. Fatal pushing my Orc Army. I think I just live with that. I'm still attacking. I found an additional blue card for Force. Ooh, pitching a Solitude. This is just a 3-2 that doesn't have a... Or no, it's a 1-1. Alright, it's a 1-1 with that will not exile a card when it comes in. Okay. I'll let it resolve and then I'll plow it. This is the game we're playing now. You chose this world, opponent. The old pitch 2 cards to make a 1-1 to hopefully trade in combat as I grind towards Batterskull. They pitched another Solitude to that. I have Hardcast Force available now. I think I am going to play Stoneforge Mystic this turn. Let's put a little extra time on the clock. And then I'll be holding up. Yeah, they said they left their Shadowy Backstreet at home, and I said me too. A mana in the pool. This is the spell that they get before Force of Will is up. Fatal Push on Tamiyo. That's the one I have a replacement for. That's fine. Another Stoneforge. I'm going to play out Stoneforge and Tamiyo this turn. The point is to make them dead, and I'm going to try to do that. And if I draw the Aetherspark, I have Prismatic Ending now. Okay, we survived the turn cycle. Back for 4. Now, this fetch land takes a turn off the clock for them. I think I'm going to win here, unless they have some major spice. Something's happening in my upkeep. Another Fatal Push. All right, that does not actually change the clock, but it does let them fetch. And it'll be hard to lose from here. Okay, we got the Thoughtseize from 2 life. What a boss. Oh, Thoughtseize yourself. 1 ring. That would have been a powerful card with a little more mana. Okay, opponent with the Orzhov Humility deck. Exciting stuff. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play I'm on the draw in round 2, and I'm going to keep my hand. It was better on the play, but I'm still interested on the draw. Depending on how they open, I will decide whether Tamiyo or Thoughtseize is going to be my first play. I guess Wasteland could even be my first play. Verdant Catacombs for Underground Sea is suspicious. Does that mean that they don't have Troll of Khazad-dûm? Like, this generally doesn't make the cut, even in decks with basic Swamp. What does that mean? That means something. Is this like mid-range bug Kaito? And not actually Reanimator or Doomsday or anything like that? We'll keep an eye on that as information develops. But I'm already suspicious. This is what I love about Esper Stoneblade decks and decks like it, is you get Thoughtseize on turn 1 and your opponent just used 4 great cards and the lands to cast them. Like, okay. It's not like Reanimator, where like you could take the Entomb, or Delver, where maybe you could strip the threat. It's like every single one of these cards is both a threat and rules. I think I'll just wasteland them for the cheese factor. Oh, they're going now. Lion's Eye Diamond. Is this a blue dredge deck? That might be what's happening. I'm just going to wasteland them. Like if I'm in a position where weird information is being presented and I have to make decisions on partially weird information, I would prefer to just kind of screw off their resource and see if we could play one more turn. But I did rip a force. So whatever they've just chained into with one card left in their hand, the force is pretty good. Okay, I don't think this is dredge anymore. This is some kind of storm strategy. Burning Wish. I am just going to counter this. Force exiling Daze. If this grabs like Empty the Warrens or something like that, I will struggle to get through it. Maybe they get Peer into the Abyss and I get to spike an extra card off their tutor, but there are things they could grab there that are punishing. Speaking of punishing, how about 2 forces off the top of my deck after a Thoughtseize? The Moto Bug finally working for me. Opponent with the land go. Bowmaster is nice. That gives me some pressure. I don't actually want to give up on Force Blue card here. Even though flipping Tamiyo is exciting, it's possible that I miss on a blue card and then shields are down. Opponent Undercity Sewered away a Verdant Catacombs. And no card played this turn. I'm going to get my scrub land. Unlock all my colors. Ping ya. Cauldron complete. Hell yeah. Just what I want. It's okay. I am just going to pass with Force Blue card and access to cracking a clue. Crack a clue. As soon as I find a blue card, I'll flip my Tamiyo. But I haven't yet. I did find a much faster threat, though. Just going to grab Cauldron. Or I have Cauldron. I'm going to grab... Oh, I can grab the Cryptic Code here. And then I can flip Tamiyo. All right. Underground Sea, Brainstorm. Yeah, there's my blue card. If I had mapped this out better, I could have shuffled away a bad card with the Stoneforge. It's all vibes. I hit Cauldron on top of my deck so it doesn't get Thoughtseized. I'm already holding Force of Will. Tamiyo's going to get back Force of Negation. Or I think I'd rather have Thoughtseize. Yeah, let's have a look. Why wait for you to come to me when I can bring it into your house? Okay, Veil of Summer is a good answer to that question. That's fine. I can't target my opponent. I'll ping my Orc army. I'm still just going to hold back this Force of Will. That is a thing that they no longer have to interact with Force of Will. And that cost them their Lotus Petal. They can't Brainstorm. They can't Echo of Eons. They can't Thoughtseize. Lotus Petal. Brainstorm. Okay, they're going for the big... As a Veil of Summer deck, if they Brainstorm into Veil of Summer, they could cast it in response to these triggers. Cool. But I would have forced the Veil if they found it. Alright, we're playing against what appears to be the Epic Storm. Force of Negation. I think Wrath of the Skies is medium, but maybe okay. I like the blue blasts because they're a Burning Wish deck. We don't need Swords to Plowshares at all. I don't think we need pre-war Formal Wear. There was a Lavinia in Brendan's original list, which would be great in this matchup, but I cut for something else. I think I cut it for the Harbinger, because it's better against more decks and against decks that were worse against. But the Lavinia would be good here. Prismatic Ending is not great. It has targets, and I'm thinking about bringing in Wrath of the Skies, so clearly I respect some of the permanents that they could have. But it's not great. All right, I think I'm going to cut another ending for a Wrath. Like, Wrath can also get Empty the Warrens. Token swept up. Nile Spellbomb, I might want access to cut off Gaia's Will lines. I'm not going to bring in the whole graveyard suite, like Surgical, Leyline, Grafdigger's Cage, no thanks, but Nile Spellbomb being a cantrip when it's not being a Nile Spellbomb is pretty nice. I'll cut my last Prismatic Ending for that. This is a matchup you genuinely could have played 10 years ago in a Legacy tournament. Some of the cards are different, but the Esper Stoneblade versus Storm, this has been around for a long time. I survive a force check with this hand, and then Tamiyo into Bowmaster is not the most embarrassing thing. Wasteland can be effective against this deck. It doesn't play basics. Depends on how heavy they go in on other stuff. Okay, they have LED, Lotus Petal. I'm going to deploy one of these Tamiyos. I think that's better than leaving up Brainstorm. We're going to see Undercity Sewers here, or perhaps Commercial District. Undercity Sewer. But remember when my heckles went up over this Verdant Catacomb? That's because it's not Reanimator or Dimir Tempo or Doomsday or any of those decks. It is the Epic Storm, which, although is an established legacy archetype, is unusual compared to the other decks I mentioned. And you can rule that stuff out very quickly if you know what you're looking for. Tamiyo, get in. I'm just going to play a land and leave up Orcish Bowmaster. Echo of Eons is still one of the core engines of this deck. They still play Brainstorm. There's the Commercial District. They are showing me 2 grain sources for Veil of Summer. Song of Creation in the bin. That one's out. Okay, just a pass with no play. I will drop out this Bowmaster here. Start applying pressure. Brainstorm in response is fine. The existence of Bowmaster cost them a turn of brainstorming when they could string together a win. 1 to you. They could Veil of Summer, and then I have to deal 1 to Tamiyo, but that's just mostly a waste of Veil of Summer. Speaking of wasting Veil of Summer, I am going to attack their Undercity Sewer. I think taking them off blue and black is better than taking them off red and green. And I actually would like access to flip to Tamiyo here, put back Plains and Tamiyo number 3. Plus, now I can beat a Storm spell even through a Veil of Summer. Consign is nice. I had to use the Lotus Petal to cast Dark Ritual. I feel good about that Wasteland now. Second LED. Gamble. Alright. No gamble, no future. Discarded Lotus Petal to gamble. Thoughtseize targeting me. Do I force a negation this? I think I do. I'm going to force this pitching at Tamiyo. And this leaves them with Echo of Eon still something they can do, but they're doing it into Orcish Bowmaster. Look at that, empty the Warrens. Called it out as a card I need to respect. Well, they have put together a turn here. This is going to cost me my Consign to Memory. But I picked up 2 Force of Wills. And there's no green man in their pool, so they are taking this Bowmaster damage. Even if they drew a Veil of Summer here. Lotus Petal, Veil is alive now. I'm going to force that, pitching a Ponder. I don't want them drawing another card. I don't want them to know that their cards will resolve. If they have another Echo of Eons, I want it to hurt. They could still easily win this game. They're still ritualing. I think I'm going to be 1 blue card short of winning the game. Ooh, the naughty tendrils from hand. Alright, you got me. Okay. Nothing in my sideboard would have stopped any of that from happening. I guess Leyline of the Void. Yeah, I mean, the Echo is a big deal. Surgical doesn't help with Echo. Nile Spellbomb doesn't either. I did not fully think about Echo, not enough in sideboarding after game 1. Grafdigger's Cage should be in. I don't like Leyline. I don't really like Cage either, but it's here. I could cut a land. I'd play 21 of them. I could cut a Wasteland. Alright, I'm going to do that. More spells, more fun. Okay, I'll keep. I do not have unflinching faith in Force of Will, but this hand is good. When it's on a Multi 5. This is a spot I'd love a Meticulous Archive, but that's going to be a theme. I'm not going to beat that into the ground. That was obviously just an oversight in deck building. Lion's Eye Diamond resolves, and I'll just go to my turn. I think I want to Brainstorm here. I play Thoughtseize, I have Grafdigger's Cage. Like, there are ones. Or look at this. Or just hundreds of forces. I'm going to put back Stoneforge Mystic and Flooded Strand, and just keep all these blue cards and free permission spells in my hand. The One of Days, looking spicy. Brainstorm resolves. And this is a spot where Stoneforge Mystic is a really interesting game object, because if my hand was blanks, like if I didn't just Brainstorm into 3 pieces of free permission, and I play Stoneforge, that might panic my opponent into going off quickly when I'm not ready. But I'm so ready, which means I do want to pressure them into trying to go off before they perfectly sculpt. That was the problem last game. I was disruptive, I applied pressure, but they were able to sculpt multiple Veil of Summer into Send or Thoughtseize into Send moments, because they weren't quite dead. But Cauldra makes them dead very quickly. Lotus Petal, 3 cards left over there. Veil of Summer. I'm gonna Force of Negation that. Am I pitching Brainstorm or one of the Force of Wills? Because Daze still plays this turn, which is really exciting to me. Alright, I'll pitch the Brainstorm and just keep the free permission wall up. Okay, that just worked. Another Petal. Now Daze looks bad, but I can pitch Daze. Oh, they went for the dump. Force pitching Daze now. They are all in. They do know their top 2 cards. Did they fetch this turn? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, they have Verdant Catacombs. Yeah, okay. And here, I actually don't want that 3rd land anymore. I'm just out of mana to spend, or out of cards to spend mana on. I was in the market for a blue card there, but Wasteland is relevant. Cauldron to get it done. Wasteland, take out the Underground Sea. If you draw a Brainstorm on it to cost a Lotus Petal. I could have gone for Cryptic Coat there, but I'm playing to win, not playing to not lose. Oh, hell yeah. Well, I'm going to do the divination thing again, starting next turn. This game will end pretty quickly, and I just got to hope they don't rip out of it. If I find a blue card, I think I win. Okay. They did not play any cards last turn. No lands, no spells. Equip my Aetherspark. And I guess I played the Delta in case they successfully echo. I would like 1 mana up to consign with. I'm not showing Force of Will anymore because I can't have Force Blue card in a 1-card hand. But they just randomly draw 3 cards from 0. If they beat me from here, they deserve it. Okay, Dark Ritual, they're making a move. Does Beseech the Mirror have a deterministic line? Oh, this Veil. 1 card left. Mox Opal. All right, so they were goofing. All right, cool. GG. Stoneforge Mystic applying that pressure. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play for round 3. Extremely fair hand. I am going to try it. I like playing fair. I'll see if my opponent agrees. My opponent's username is The Hood's Last Hope. That's hard as shit. Great name. They mulled to 6. I am just going to play Flooded Strand and pass. If my opponent's on Delver, I love my hand. If they're on Eldrazi, it's fine. If they're on combo, I'm dead. A Bloodstained Mire, bad news. I'm just going to play Wasteland here. If they think they can sneak a Surveil land past me, I got news for you. And I can just cast Bowmaster off this mana. And no fetch in the end step. Is this the Epic Storm again? Are there 2 of these weirdos out here today? It looks like it. It's the only deck that plays these 3 cards, as far as I know. Gamble, yeah, alright. This is what we're doing. Petal, petal, petal. Oh, that was Galvanic Relay, not Gamble. Okay. So they're banking 4 cards. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Burning Wish. Mox Opal. All bangers. I'm going to fetch Underground Sea and play an Orcish Bowmaster. Oh wait, no. I should get Scrubland. Yeah, I'm going to get Scrubland here. Is that enough? Because if I go Wasteland, Wasteland, Prismatic Ending, I can take them off a bunch of mana sources. But this Burning Wish is still a problem. Okay, 1 to you. Thoughtseize. Huh. Okay, so if they have Mox Opal, Petal, Petal, 2 Dark Rituals, and a Burning Wish on their turn, I feel like this Thoughtseize is good, but also that their Galvanic Relay is nearly unassailable. I can't take them off Beseech the Mirror. Yeah, I think I'm mostly cooked here. I'm going to Thoughtseize them, but I'm pretty sure I'm just dead. Take Gamble. You probably weren't going to use that. And if I Wasteland Underground Sea, this Mox Opal is just tying it all together for them. Okay, I'm going to Wasteland Underground Sea, and what happens if I Prismatic Ending a Lotus Petal? They still have double Ritual. It's not good. All right, I'll take the Chrome Mox. Yeah, I think I just lose to Burning Wish for Beseech the Mirror here. They have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Yeah, they're good here. The line exists. I think the Hood's going to be okay this round. You're going to make it. if that is the line, if they see that line and if they pursue that line, both of which I don't think are particularly complicated, and a Storm Pilot would know it's there. My only hope is that there's not a Beseech in the sideboard. Yep, they got to Beseech the Mirror. What an incredible Galvanic Relay that was. I mean, obviously draw 4 is a powerful effect. But I think if even one of those cards was just something blank, I could have poked a hole. Dark Ritual is the draw for turn as well. Okay, Beseech the Mirror is on the stack, bargained away the Opal. They didn't sack all their petals in response. Oh, now they can. All right, so here if I had Force of Will, I would have win. Instead, I lose. Yep. The clean, deterministic Beseech line. Okay, weird to play the same deck twice in a row, especially a low incidence deck like the Epic Storm, but here we are. But we are familiar with this sideboard plan, at least. Should look familiar. Just a bunch of white cards out, a bunch of blue cards in. The classic Control versus Storm sideboard plan. Force of Will and Pressure. And I'll keep it. I'd feel better with another blue card. Or another anything. Tundra, pass. Scalding Tarn. And Thoughtseize. They'll probably take one of the forces, because they can't take me off Pressure. And the question is, do they have follow-up? Like, is there LED Echo right now? Or do I have 1/3 of my deck live to draw and be right back in it? This might be a Stoneforge for Cryptic Coat situation, if I get a turn. Opponent's still in the tank post Thoughtseize. Okay, they passed into my turn. Alright, yeah, I'm going to Stoneforge for Cryptic Coat. Just get that blue card in the hand. Alright, they know I have Force Blue card Bowmaster. The card they don't know about is Flooded Strand. There will be no help there. They also know that Stoneforge is not really a threat. Burning Wish, just value Burning Wish. I'll let that ride. It might get a Thoughtseize, or it might set up. Yeah, okay, just getting Thoughtseize. Aha! But what if I Thoughtseize you? Okay. Multiple gambles, LED Dark Ritual Relay. We got the rough LOL in the chat. Yeah, it was a good draw. I'll Thoughtseize your Thoughtseize. And this makes Bowmaster really good too. I'm just going to main phase this fella in case they draw a Brainstorm and sneak it under. Okay, 1 to the opponent, then attack with Stoneforge. Any damage counts here. They could just like relay for 3 here. That's safe to do. If nothing else, more powerful emerge. There's Ritual, LED. I'm not brave enough to just Force of Will a Dark Ritual in the spot, though it might be correct. We got Burning Wish, Mox Opal, Brainstorm. I would say that's moderately powerful. Ponder. Now I could deploy Cryptic Coat, or I could just dig for more interaction. I think I'd rather have more interaction. Consign to Memory, book it. Brainstorm is here too. I like all these cards. And I'll put the Consign in my hand. Play a land. They now don't know about Consign to Memory, but they know about the other 2 cards. And I'm going to leave back Stoneforge. I shouldn't have done that, because Cryptic Coat is just going to become my Brainstorm. Shit, that was a mistake. I should have attacked for the damage. If they win by 1, they deserve it. Lotus Petal from hand is rough, because that turns on Mox Opal. I don't think this is where I point a Consign to Memory. Gamble. Discarded Galvanic Relay from hand. Veil of Summer. I will flush out my Force of Will on this. Now missing that point with Stoneforge is even worse. Brainstorming over top. Okay. They're looking for one of the other 3 Veil of Summers in the list, which if they find, they're in great position. At least great position to echo, if not to win. And my Bowmaster triggers are on this deck. Do we have the second Veil off the top? Doesn't look like it. No John Cena moment for you today. But could just gamble for Echo, go for a spin. Consign to Memory doesn't stop that. Dark Ritual. Chrome Mox. Okay, so we're going to Burning Wish from Exile. And I have the Consign for Tendrils. Unless they Beseech to be extra disrespectful here. I don't think I can beat Beseech here. Tight. Alright, opponent knows the lines. We're against a competent opponent. It's hardly fair. They Beseeched 4 Beseech to get the Opal in the graveyard and build 1 Storm. Gaia's Will. And there is Thoughtseizes in the graveyard. I don't think there's a line anywhere here that consigned to memory would stop them. What about right here? This hesitation, while I think about it, is bad news. LED would end up in exile, but they still have 2 rituals and another beseech. Yeah, there's nothing I could do here as long as they cast the Thoughtseize. Dark rituals, plenty of mana going around here. I did bring in the Graveyard Hate that I believe to be relevant. All right, GG. Cool. All right, yeah. We saw last round how you can take out certain engines, like turning off Echo is nice, turning off whatever is nice. This opponent beseeched my ass twice, and Beseech dances around the consigned to memory extremely well. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in round 4, and once again, hyper fair hand. I can't play against the Epic Storm 3 times in a row, right? I believe that is statistically literally impossible. We've got a Bayou. That card is not in the Epic Storm, although it could be. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure they do Underground Sea plus Taiga to get all their colors, and Bayou's not part of the mix. Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. I'm going to plow this off of Tundra in the end step and shove a Stoneforge Mystic. This looks like Cradle Control to me. Stoneforge. I think I should just get Cauldra and try to hurt my opponent, because I can daze a play this turn, Prismatic Ending, Brazen Borrower to bounce and remove the follow-up things. Cauldra just needs to hit 4 times. Wasteland. Well, fudgos. They've played around it perfectly. Luckily, I'm not worried about that Wasteland. I do have my next land lined up. Time to rip the Aetherspark right now. Orcish Bowmaster. It's not the Aetherspark, but it is something. And my opponent does have at least some number of X1s in their deck. They do have some number of Orcish Bowmaster too, I think. Alright. I'm not going to run my Bowmaster into a potential Bowmaster. Hey, look at that! There's that one. Okay. If I run this into a Bowmaster, what does that do? Okay. I'm putting it in. Spark, plus, equipped to the Stoneforge. Sheoldred's Edict. Each opponent sacrifices a Planeswalker. Okay, so that's always a Planeswalker. And I can't daze that. Disappointing. Alright. I don't think this is Cradle Control anymore, by the way. I feel like this is some sort of Jund or value mid-range black-green. Yeah, okay. The third color revealed. My sense is tingling. I was already slightly suspicious with the Wasteland, but main deck Sheoldred's Edict. Forget about it. Uh-oh. Mana number 4. Here comes the Liliana of the Veil. Barrow-Goyf. That might be worse. Okay. Big Barrow. I don't have a Meticulous Archive to dig for. Multiple Bowmasters that I now mostly regret not deploying, but who could know at the time? White, black, blue, the 3 colors on this Prismatic Ending. But they knew that was there, so what's the real card that they were hiding? Liliana's pretty bad against Orcish Bowmaster, though. I hope this is the full Bloodbraid Elf experience. Basic Forest. Another Barrow-Goyf. They've seen me miss multiple land drops now, yeah. Time to apply that pressure. It's a 5/6. I guess I did put Artifact and Planeswalker there for them. Ponder. This Ponder's a little risky. If it misses on the land, or the plow, it's bad. Alright, I'm gonna go for it, though. Found a land. I'm not sure if this actually solves any problems I was having, though. I guess I can chump for a turn and then bounce it, force it on the way back down, and then beat them back with Bowmaster. And they have the 5th land here. Oh, good. So they assessed that I was going to block. I can't really let them hit me with this, but I also can't really have it in play. Okay, I will petty theft this thing. And because of the wasteland from them last turn, I'm not able to push them down to 3 mana where Daze matters. Ooh, okay. They left that up, which gives me a window to draw Force of Will. Interesting. So do they have an interactive card, or do they think I already have an Answer to Barrowgoyf ready, and they're going to sequence a Thoughtseize over top of it? Okay, force pitching Daze. Get that pressure off. And I'm going to play Brazen Borrower from Exile. That just hits harder, and I don't think they're about to draw any cards. It hits harder, it's more mana efficient. If they play a Bowmaster to kill this, I can go back at them. And something is happening in the end step here. 2 mana. Is it the Bowmaster I played around 4 turns ago? Abrupt Decay. Okay, that's fine. There is only 1 red source over there. I'm going to take a risk and Wasteland that red. That's a risk because we've seen Wasteland out of their deck. If they just waste me and I'm playing on 1 land, that's a lot worse than 2, even if Wasteland takes me off a color regardless. Okay, begin the Bowmaster Parade. 1 to you. I'm drawing my first new card in a while this turn. All right, 1 to my Bowmaster. I tried to avoid this, but I ran out of stuff to do. I drew a land. I guess I'll play it. And I am going to attack with this Orc Army. No blocks. Fresh Bowmaster. Make my monster grow. Okay, opponent's at 8. Do they have another Bowmaster? No. Gotta hope that hand is full of red cards. Oh no. Mana in the pool. Stealthy Voidwalker. That one doesn't really interact with anything that's happening. It does contribute to a race. I don't use my graveyard, really. That card's good. Now I have to decide, is Tamiyo better as Tamiyo or better as Force of Will? And I think she's just really good at Tamiyo. I think cards are what this game's more about than the next spell they cast. All right, leaving back Orc Army this time. I don't think it should have attacked last turn, because that let my Orc Army through. Uh-oh. Man in the pool. We hate spells. We hate spells. Change their mind. Gonna upkeep whatever this is. No. All right. I think I'm just going to move to combat and sit on this Prismatic Ending for a second. 2/2 on the ground and Tamiyo in the air. Edict. Each opponent sacrifices a token. I only have one of those. It is creature token, right? It is creature token. All right, yeah, they didn't really have to respond to the investigate, but they did. And I am going to remove this Voidwalker. It's currently the only thing applying pressure. Okay. We are stable and slightly ahead, but 1 big draw could change that. We're tapping mana again. Untap the mana again. Okay, attacking first. There's no universe where I block this card. Another Voidwalker, all right. Going to continue walking into the void. All right, well, this flips Tamiyo. An attack with my 2 things. And I'm going to play the land first. I don't think they have a Bowmaster, but if they do, I want to be able to draw with Clue in response to drawing with Clue. Force of Will, force blue card in the bank. Tamiyo flips. Now they're attacking for 2 instead of for 3, and if they don't go after Tamiyo, they're in trouble. Now my graveyard matters a little, but I already have 14 cards there I can use. Edict. Each opponent sacrifices a Planeswalker. I don't wanna. I think this is worth 2 cards, given where the game has ground down to. There is a Force of Will and a Flooded Strand in the void for them to use, if they want those cards. Attacking Tamiyo. We're kind of at a standstill here, where I'm behind. I need a good card. Wasteland doesn't seem that useful here, I'm going to be honest. Though if they have been caught off of red mana for a while, that's something I can keep them under lock on. Wood of Foothills revealed. Grist. Hate that. That can kill Bowmaster, it can kill Tamiyo. Where are we going with this? Orc Army's dead. Bowmaster's dead with it. Bowmaster ends up in the void, which has its own set of problems. I'd love to draw a Cryptic Coat. That's just one of the best cards I got here. Stoneforge Mystic would also qualify as Cryptic Coat. for the scoreboard. All right, continue treading water, but now they're treading ahead because they have grist. Fallen behind. The third Bayou plus grist, milled a Bowmaster. I'd rather play against Insect than Bowmaster. Once again, I cannot overstate how good the Surveillance are. No attack. The Voidwalker is up. That means they have access to Force of Will. They have access to Orcish Bowmaster. If I minus Tameo, the Bowmaster is gonzo. Or the Bowmaster kills Tameo. I'm going to end Grist. I'm going to start there. We're both Hellbent. I do play Brainstorm in my deck. Okay, so if they use Voidwalker to force the Grist, that clears the Voidwalker. Okay, I am going to play out my planes. White, black, blue. Target Grist here. That's just gone. And the Voidwalker still chilling. I'm going to plus Tameo again. Okay, Voidwalker staying sleepy for a whole turn cycle. The Insect is a nothing burger. And we're back to +2, -2 every turn. And top decking in between. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Unlocking a red card. Did we draw Lightning Bolt? Harsh! Okay. Well, Tameo doesn't get a spell now. But I can take them off red again. I've been waiting my entire life for this moment. Thoughtseize. Obnoxious. Okay. Kill this Badlands. Now there's a Wasteland in the Void. Another red source. Oh, they attacked me. Well, Tameo would die if I use her this turn. Ponder, that's a heck of a card. Ponder, fix it. Fix my life. Fix everything for me. Found Brainstorm and another Ponder. I will take the Brainstorm because Thoughtseize is dead here. This is putting a ton of cantrips in the Void, but I think it's okay. A Bowmaster. We like it. We like it. Fetch. I guess I'll just keep getting Tundras. I don't know what a basic's going to do for me here. Ponder. Swords, 2. Plowshares. Let's go. Plow this Voidwalker plus Tameo. And I am ready now. That was a huge turn. We saw the plus and minus of being a blue deck versus a non-blue deck. The non-blue deck, their cards are just good. And in general, will be individually better than my cards. But then when it gets into the dregs like this, a Ponder found a Brainstorm, found another Ponder, and suddenly every card I have is good. Grist. I hope they just minus it immediately. Minus, 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 minus. Let's go. You may sacrifice a creature, but not if you don't have one. I think the game is over now. This was such a sick game. But I believe it has just concluded. Yep, they scooped it up to that. What a fun back and forth jockeying of resources that was. We saw at least a basic forest. I don't think I'm going to try to harbage them. Or some negation sucks. Sheoldred's Edict's good. Wrath of the Skies looks pretty good. Exercise does get rid of Barrogoyf, but not Orcish Bowmaster, and not Dauthi Voidwalker. The Hydroblast, we've seen at least Lightning Bolt in their deck. Nile Spellbomb. I don't know, like Barrogoyf kind of cares about the size of it. Grist cares about your graveyard for its ultimate. I'm not obsessed with really any of these. It's like Sheoldred's Edict definitely, and then a bunch of maybes. I don't know why Harbinger keeps creeping over here. I'm not playing that. Force of Wills. I don't really want to spend 2 cards on anything that they play. This is a matchup where I would love to have Veil of Summer, Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, that sort of interaction, and I just don't. I have this 1 Daze. I also am boarding out like 6 cards right now, and confidently boarding in 1. Edict, Wrath, Spellbomb, Exercise. Yeah, I guess these are just the cards I bring in, even though most of them are conditional and not that good. I do not have Jund on my bingo card. We're chatting about that right now in the chat. Cannot cast the Ponder I have, and I know I'm playing against Wasteland. I think I have to mulligan this. I hate taking mulligans versus discard decks. Here we go. This one's a keeper. I'm going to put away the Aetherspark. That's just the one that's the farthest away from helping me right now. Okay, let's game. Basic Forest. Miri's Guile. All right. This gives you a one-time Sensei's Divining Top every upkeep. You can look at your top 3, put them back in any order. That's going to be worth a lot over a long game. I think I will fetch basic island here, just in case. I don't want to get cheesed out. I do play basics, might as well use them. Mirror's Guile got some selection in the upkeep. Iggy. Alright, I've untapped, which means Brainstorm is on. I'm going to attack first. Put that in the bank. And I'm going to cast Brainstorm and then decide what I'm going to do with this Prismatic Ending. 2 Stone Forges, 2 lands. Okay, I'm going to put back Cryptic Coat, Underground Sea, because I don't actually want to shuffle this pile. And deciding whether to take them off a land or take them off long-term selection is actually really close to me right here. And I think I want to take them off the mana for now, and Tamiyo can rebuy Mirror's Guile next turn. Or rebuy Prismatic Ending for Mirror's Guile next turn. And if they spend time exiling or dealing with Tamiyo, then Stoneforge Mystic is more likely to survive. Wasteland, disrespectful, but I'm ready. Bowmaster, disrespectful, but I'm ready. Okay, that's gone. I don't have access to basic planes, unfortunately, but I can get another Tundra and keep the hits coming here. I'm going to get Cauldra. I just want the best thing. I have a backup Stoneforge if this doesn't work, if they Thoughtseize me. Another Wasteland. Disrespectful. I'm less ready for this one. There's no attacks here. Tamiyo Bubble is on. Come on, White Source. Tilt. Okay, I could try to ponder into a White Source. That does make Orc Army better. I actually am going to ponder here. I think it's okay. A 2/2 Orc Army still can't attack through Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, that's bad. Shuffle 2 Tamiyos and a Brainstorm away. Another white card. It's getting worse. Put a damage on Tamiyo. Plus Tamiyo. Basic Swamp, pass. Second Wasteland might do it. They have not shuffled their deck since playing the Mirror's Guile, though, so they've been looking at least 2 of the same cards every turn, and then they get 1 new one, which is slightly better than drawing a random card every turn, but it's much worse than being able to shuffle away all the bad ones. Badlands. No attacks. Hey. There's 1 more Tundra in this deck. Let's go get it. There's also a Scrubland. I don't need that. Tundra. We're in here on Tundra. I think I want to plus Tamiyo before I do anything else. And I might want to bank up another Stoneforge Mystic and another good card in my hand. That does give them a turn. Now I'm going to go for the Cauldra. I hesitated briefly because we've seen Children's Edict, and if they make me sack a token, that could clear that. But they could also make me sack a Planeswalker, which is actually way worse for me. And they also just might have nothing, in which case getting the clock going is where I want to be. I was also worried about tapping the Stoneforge because then Orc Army can attack it, but Tamiyo's at 8. Ooh, Seek the Beast. Wasteland Swamp. Glad I didn't wait a turn to try to dance around this, because I might not have white mana next turn. The third Wasteland. And these are new cards. Opponent drew one of the 3 they saw last turn and then flipped these 2 off the Seek the Beast. So this was a full value look at 3 cards. We're going to get the... Oh, it's just a Barrogoyf. I was excited that there was about to be a Bloodbraid Elf. Okay. I'm out of Tundras. There is a Scrubland and a basic plane still kicking around in there. They can put 1 damage on Tamiyo this turn and didn't. Basic planes. Wasteland. Okay. Send back. Take you off red is something I can do here. I can ultimate Tamiyo, but I end up taking 21 damage from Orcish Bowmaster, which is not ideal. I could minus Tamiyo on Ponder, except the 1 ping, looking for white mana, hoping that that happens before they come up with a Pyroblast. I can't take them off green or black. I think I'm going to plus Tamiyo, waste the Badlands, and just hold back with Cauldra as my answer to Barrogoyf. We've seen Abrupt Decay in this deck. We've seen Children's Edict. Red unlocked again. Mirror's Guile putting in the work. Questing Druid from Exile. I'm fine with that. They tap 2 mana. I'm just glad it wasn't any of the cards I mentioned last turn as ones I'm scared of. I am going to crack my clue in the end step. If I find the white mana, it's worth so much more than a 1 extra point on the Orc Army. Another white card. They're going face. I've stopped messing with Tamiyo. White mana. Alright, Ponder. Could be white mana. Same equation here. I'll risk it. Hydroblast Wasteland Exercise. All right, shuffle those away. Come on, Flooded Strand. Orcish Bowmaster. That does what I needed to here. Okay. Underground Sea, my Bowmaster, kill your Bowmaster, draw half my deck. They would need a Pyroblast or something that kills my Tamiyo in response to this Bowmaster trigger. Alright. Draw cards equal to half my deck. There they are. Okay. Well, that's my hand now. I've already made my land drop. The forces aren't in. I'm just going to pass, and hopefully we're over the hump for the final turn. Raucous Theater is the play. Did not shuffle away the Miri's Guile cards, even though they could, so there must have been something they were happy to draw there somewhere. Okay, we're in my turn. I'm just going to check this 24 card hand for the basic planes before I do anything else. All right, start by thought seizing you. What's going on over there? Fetching in response. Maybe I was supposed to plus Tamiyo before I did anything else, just in case this is a bolt. And she's done a lot already, but I could have gotten more out of her. Pyroblast. All right, that didn't matter. They must have just recently drawn this. Do I have one of my Hydros in hand? Brainstorm. No Hydroblast around. Okay, Tamiyo's dead. We're going to Thoughtseize a 1-card hand. And it's a Bayou. Okay. Fetch for basic planes. And I could just, like, Aetherspark onto Cauldron Complete. I think I'm actually going to exile this Miri's Guile. This is looking at 3 fresh cards. And from here, my job is just don't lose. I don't need to be super fast about winning. All right. GG's. That was a satisfying back and forth match. Another one we may have seen 10 years ago. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in the final round. My hand has Tamiyo and Force of Will to back it up. I'm interested. Just going to play the Underground Sea. If they want to waste me on the draw when I have a sick 1-drop, that's not going to work out well for them. Urza's Tower. Okay. So some sort of Cloud Post or Mystic Forge combo is what we're up against here. Ponder. Start to look for those wastelands. Ooh, I like Stoneforge Mystic and Thoughtseize, but I can't play them both with the mana I have. Yeah, this is actually really tight. I think I'm going to actually take Brainstorm now with the intention of casting most of these cards next turn. I could have also just played the Brainstorm there, gotten rid of those 2 good cards I know I'm drawing to have Tamiyo ticking up. Second Urza's Tower. Okay, Flooded Strand, Brainstorm. Because I want... Oh, I was supposed to attack. Shit. I want the Stoneforge Mystic. Just lost out on a clue token, though. I don't think I want Plow, and Bowmaster is medium to okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of the Bowmaster, actually. And I'm going to try to apply pressure here. I'm going to lead on the Stoneforge, protect her for a turn with Force, and then Thoughtseize them and hit them with Cauldron. Tundra and Scrubland. Just round out all the colors. And if I force this turn, Tamiyo can grab that Force back next turn. Cauldron, pass. Alright, I'm going to punch a hole and punch their face next turn. What can they do in the meantime? A Planar Nexus is terrifying. Oh, first spell of the game. I'm somewhat tempted to force that because Planar Nexus represents 5 mana on this board, and they get a lot of looks at it, but I think I'd still rather fight their spells. They found Boseiju. Unless they need green mana, that's not helpful here. There's a land. It's Boseiju. Crop Rotation. I am going to Force of Will that. They have used their land already for turn, and now they just have 2 mana. If they have, like, Disruptor Flute, I would not enjoy playing against that. But that was, in my belief, the correct time to fight. Thoughtseize, what else is going on over there? Okay, we are a big Tron Eldrazi deck. The One Ring, Kozilek's Command, Sowing Mycospawn, just all my favorite cards here. I think I'm going to take the One Ring. I can pick up Force of Will here. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I'm going to take the One Ring. And I'm going to put in Cauldron. I'm going to return Force of Will to my hand before Kozilek's Command can take it. Taking Kozilek's Command to just draw a card this turn. Oh, this exiles shit. I fucked up. I was supposed to take the Kozilek's command, or at least sequence this the other way. I forgot this could exile a 0. This card's so fucking shitty. God damn it, Brian. Alright. Well, that was just a bad play. I played poorly into a abortion of a design. Yep, exiling untouchable creatures for 0 mana while drawing a card. That's a thing that a Tron deck should be able to do. Thanks, Wizards of the Coast. Okay, shake it off. Yeah, that Thoughtseize should have taken Kozilek's command, and now I am applying 0 pressure instead of kicking their ass. Wasteland, that represents 4 mana for Karn next turn. Alright, they're just randomly cacking off on one of my lands is fine. I'm something of a Wasteland deck myself. I think I'm going to draw with my Clue before I make any other decisions. And I'm just going to set this Wasteland in play. I'm not worried about their third Urza's Tower. I am worried about the possibility of a Planar Nexus. A Cloud Post, perhaps. Don't need to respond to anything yet. Plus Tamiyo again. Wasteland this Cloud Post. Attack for 1. Do I think Bowmaster is something I should brainstorm away, or that I should just play? I think I'm going to play it, and then rebuy my Thoughtseize this turn, and take another crack at that hand. Bowmaster, now we're pushing kind of real damage. A Delver's worth of damage is represented now. And a Wasteland. Alright, give me back that Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize you. We've got Karakas, Karn, 2 Myco spawns, and Ulamog. I think it's one of the Myco spawns, as miserable as that is. Because the second one, it will kill me. Even if I could put up a reasonable fight through the first one. And I'll just waste off one of the lands now. The things I said about Planar Nexus, I do still feel, but also 4 mana is a critical juncture for them. Fuck! Just punished every time I make a decision this game. And they can't quite kick this Sowing Myco spawn. Or yes, they can. Of course they can. Why would they not be able to? Oh my god. And now we lose. Cheese and rice. Alright, I'm gonna brainstorm. Another Bowmaster and some more lands. Happy to see more lands. I'll put back Tundra, because I'm about to fetch it anyway. And I don't think a second Bowmaster is going to help me. I think I have to save this Force of Will, even though this 3/3 body. I mean, this game is entirely on me for messing up that Kozilek's command sequence. They would just be, like, basically dead right now. But this is a giant disaster of design mistakes that shouldn't exist. They fetch another Tundra. They tutor Tabernacle. That will kill my Orc army, I guess. No, I will not pay the 1. I will pay the 1 for the other 2. For now, Swords to Plowshares. Now the Myco spawn is handled. There's the Karakas. Karn. We've been waiting for that one for the entire life, but now the hand is Ulamog and an unknown 3, 6, 7, 8 mana available. I will offer up Orcish Bowmaster on the altar of protecting Queen Tamiyo. Okay, do I want to keep this Stoneforge Mystic? I guess I do. What else is going on right now? I could Thoughtseize them again, and then it's top of the deck. 3, 6, 7, 8. They're 1 Ancient Tomb or Eldrazi Temple away from the Ulamog. I would like to Ponder. I think I have to Thoughtseize, though. Thoughtseize. Alright, Ulamog and Bajuka Bog. An Og theme deck over there. So Tamiyo's going to have to reset herself, because when they bog me, there will be no more material to pick up. But they drew a spell. The One Ring. Awesome. The turn after I block with my Bowmaster. Oy, oy, oy. You make one mistake, and this is all my fault. I just really want to hammer this point. I'm not, like, malding because I made a mistake. It's fine. Mistakes happen. But if I didn't recognize the error on the Kozilek's command, I might think that I got really unlucky and my opponent drew insanely well, which one of those things is true. But if I had just played my cards correctly, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, yeah, what if we live in a world where they don't just draw Planar Nexus immediately after I use a Wasteland on something else? What if we live in a world where they don't just top deck the One Ring after I Thoughtseize them? All these things are true and annoying, but they could have been dead 3 turns ago if I had played my cards correctly. Going Deeps can be a Cloud Post, an Urza's Tower, or a Wasteland. Okay, I will keep paying for the Stoneforge Mystic. It can attack now. It's doing something. I will also keep deploying lands because Caldra's in play, costs 7 to equip. That's what I'm playing to at this point. I need them to just flood out and die to their One Ring. Talon Gates. All right, they're zooting in a Talon Gates, which will phase out this 1 damage. Might as well do it, I guess. Smoke him if you got him. And casting Once Upon a Time in the end step. Found Elvish Spirit Guide. Cool. If that's the best thing they're doing, that's okay, but they do get to draw another 3 cards now. I have Ugin. It's over. And Disruptor Flute. All right, that's going to name Tameo, so I don't need to fetch in response. Maybe they'll accidentally name Eye of Ugin. And phasing in does not count as entering the battlefield. I don't get a Stoneforge Mystic tutor here. Daze. LOL. All right, I'm going to exile this Disruptor Flute. I'm going to plus Tameo, attack for 1, and then die to whatever this Eye of Ugin tutors. I hope they tutor like a Walking Ballista and then just tap out for it. Elbow tap all the way into Daze. Okay, there's an Emrakul. So they have infinite turns now because they can bounce their Emrakul after they attack. Rotating away Bajuka Bog for another Urza's Tower. That is 4 of those in play. And okay, so it's Emrakul dead. Emrakul take 3 down to 6 dead. All right, there's no way out of this. Entire match hinged on a Thoughtseize that I botched. That's fair. At least I was able to identify where we messed that one up. Harbinger of the Seas is great. Consign to Memory is great. Force of Negation might be good enough here. I don't think I want Exercise or Containment Priest. Shieldred's Edict might be good enough. Really depends on what the sideboard is. We saw some Disruptor Flutes. Daze is terrible. Swords to Plowshares is deeply mid. I do have to deal with the body on Sowing Mycospawn somehow. But I do have ways to attack that. I actually think the Aetherspark is just really bad here. If I'm pushing damage, I'm already winning, and I don't think it's going to come down to a couple +1 counters. And maybe I don't need this Force of Negation. I already have a lot of forces in, and I'm adding Consigns to the mix. Okay, shake that one off. We had the line to win a tough matchup in game 1, and opted to do something else. Okay, Thoughtseize and Consign are cards I like. I don't like that I have no pressure. The Wasteland's great too. I've got to find a way to attack my opponent out of this hand. But it's not bad enough to mulligan. We have seen my opponent with Wasteland in their deck. I still think I have to lead on the Underground Sea, because if I want to Wasteland them and hold up Consign next turn, that's how it has to go. And white is how I apply pressure in this deck. All right, they're Once Upon a Timing in response. They might actually show me a hand of 6 lands here. There's Planar Nexus. And okay, it was not 6 lands. We dodged. Disruptor Flute, Elvish Spirit Guide. I'm going to take Crop Rotation. They could turn 1 Disruptor Flute, name Wasteland, I guess. But that costs a Spirit Guide. Is that good enough? Planar Nexus. We're in business. Ooh, I like this Tameo a lot. All right, I'm just going to Wasteland them. That's gone, and here's Tameo. Now I'm doing something. It's not damage, but it is an engine. Boseiju as a land, hiding that Eye of Ugin from me. I don't want to flip Tameo too aggressively here, because this Disruptor Flute naming Seasoned Scholar could turn off everything I've got going on when a steady stream of clues is fine. Wasteland from the opponent. I'll crack a clue here. Easy game. Interesting that we both believe Wastelanding is the correct play. I'm going to fetch Basic Island here. At least lock that in. I would prefer to get Basic Plains, because that's the one that my Harbinger doesn't turn off. But with my color spread right now, this is what we get. Eat a clue. Tundra. Okay, Tundra represents hardcast Force of Negation. I have no targets for this pre-war Formalware. First time it's been in my hand. First time I've looked at the picture outside of the sideboard in the entire league. And nothing to do with it. Urza's Tower. They have worked their way up to 3 mana. I've got 3 more Wastelands and a Harbinger in my deck. Another Force of Will. Okay, Basic Plains and Basic Swamp, both live here. And I'm not going to discard yet. That'll happen next turn. I'm just going to chill with another turn of clue consumption. I guess I fetch in response to this. And if they name Tamiyo, like backside Tamiyo, then my wastelands and stuff are on, and I know to just pump the brakes. Okay, Consign to Memory costs 4 to cast, which I have. I have Ugin, End Step, Crack a Clue, and now Brainstorm is just operational. Can we find a Stoneforge or a Bowmaster, something to get it done? Another Brainstorm. A Wasteland. They're up to 4 cards in hand now. One of them still Spirit Guide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not close to Eye of Ugin. I'm going to play Polluted Delta so I can Consign to Memory if they have Kozilek's Command right now. The Bowmaster is great. Put away this Formal Wear that has been rotting. And do I put back Force of Negation? I have a bunch of other forces. I like all the other cards I have. Tamiyo, Trigger. Another Flute in response. I will fetch in response to that. Get the Swamp. And this Flute's going to name Tamiyo Seasoned Scholar. Am I okay with that? I could use Force of Will. Okay. I'm going to let this resolve. Immediately Prismatic End it. And then next turn I can buy back the ending to unlock my consigns, and I'll use Force of Will to bridge the gap. Prismatic End, the one on Tamiyo plus Tamiyo. And pass. Cloud Post. That's pretty good next turn. I'm going to run out this Bowmaster right now. It's turn 7. And my opponent is still at 21 life. Something's happening in response. Command for 3 idiots and draw. I don't want you to have any of that. Where's pitching Brainstorm? Down to Elvish Spirit Guide and 1 unknown in hand. Bowmaster. Okay, I'm going to get back Prismatic Ending. Take out this Disruptor Flute. Wasteland the Cloud Post. And attack for 2. Now they're pretty sure I have Consign to Memory in my hand. But I do. Another tower, that's 4 mana now, 6 for Eldrazi. I can actually fully counter a Sowing Mycospawn. Unbelievable. Damage is worth more than cards right now. I'm going to use Bowmaster rather than eat this clue. Bowmaster's in. And I've successfully untapped, plus Tamiyo before anything goes wrong there. I would like to ponder. I've somehow maneuvered myself into a spot where I only have 2 blue sources out of 5 lands. Okay. I'm going to get another Bowmaster in my hand right now and attack with the ones that I have. I'm not going to push the extra 1 damage this turn. Just being able to tap a million lands into a Consign to Memory feels relevant, because Sowing Mycospawn is a card that exists. Okay, Once Upon a Time plus the Spirit Guide. Planar Nexus is going to unlock Eye of Ugin. Well, Danger Zone. So this is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 10 with the Spirit Guide. Okay, I'm going to need to dig here. End of turn, use my clue, and play out the Bowmaster. I am looking for Wasteland here. Wasteland or Harbinger. And Harbinger would have to come with a 2nd blue mana to use it. A Brainstorm. Big hits. The 4th Bowmaster, you love to see it. Okay, Prismatic Ending's not helping. And is this Brazen Borrower helping? Not particularly. What happens if they just tutor Emrakul here? They can't quite cast her. 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, they're quite a ways away from Emrakul, unless they have another Urza's Tower in hand. Yeah, I could still ponder this turn, or I could hold this Brazen Borrower. All right, I'm going to actually put back the Brainstorm, and I'm just going to try to win the game. Plus Tamiyo, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is half their life total. I think if I hold this Brazen Borrower and Bowmaster as attackers, I might be able to push over the line here. They get a tutor that doesn't cost them anything, and then they could cast Ulamog. Brazen Borrower could block Emrakul if they have her. Okay, Ulamog is the grab. Consign to Memory covers that one. And a Once Upon a Time. That's so risky. Found a Karakas. Okay. I can currently beat their hand. There's the Karakas. Consign to Memory, going to do its job here. Counter both ends of an Eldrazi. This Ulamog is indestructible. It doesn't have any specific rules about being uncounterable. They counter the Ulamog. and replicate 1 to also counter the trigger. All right, cool. The Wasteland's doing a lot of work here. I don't think I want to change anything about my plan. And there could be some cheese value to Surgical, like Wasteland a Urza's Tower and take them all, or Wasteland a Planar Nexus and take them all. Do I think that's better than what's actually happening in my deck? They don't really seem to be killing cards. Maybe Formalware isn't good and a little cheese value is useful. I'm not 100% sold on this, but it is happening. I have Thoughtseize and Wasteland to put cards in their graveyard against their will. I have Consign, but no blue. Thoughtseize, Wasteland, Stoneforge. I am going to keep this. I think it's enough. Cloud Post. Another Wasteland. Let's go. Let's get them. Another Cloud Post. The Surgical would have been so good there. Do I want to Wasteland them again? I think I gotta. Wasteland again. They still haven't played a spell this game. Once Upon a Time still works. Planar Nexus. And Thoughtseize you. We've made it this far. Once Upon a Time in response. If their hand is just like Urza's Tower plus Karn and the One Ring, it's over. But we have Wastelanded 6 mana worth of lands. Okay, opponent found a Wasteland now. The full garbage magic experience. Okay, Disruptor Flute and the One Ring. I'm taking the One Ring. They do have Urza's Tower. Okay, here we go. Wasteland. That gives me a turn to hold up Consign to Memory. Another land, let's go. Okay, I am playing the Tundra. And if they play Flute, I will consign it. Because it seems likely that it would name Consign, given the way our last few games have gone. I am just going to pass here. I'll probably end step Brainstorm. I'm not going to shove the Stoneforge into Disruptor Flute when I have 2 removal spells that don't appear to be doing anything in my hand. Okay, I'll Brainstorm in response here. Harbinger of the Seas, okay. I mean, they have their basic forest. I don't even know what I'm trying to do with that. Put back Plow and Edict. And I could fetch Basic Swamp with this Delta, give up on the Disruptor Flute, or I could counter the Disruptor Flute. Okay, I am going to take a bit of a risk here. I'm going to fetch Basic Swamp and let this Flute resolve and hope I'm not dead. They have 1 unknown card in their hand. I know they're representing, oh, okay, named Force of Will. They don't have to name Consign if they know I can't cast it. 5 in the pool. Karn resolves. What do we got? Now a liquid metal coating is pretty bad for me, though I do have Consign available. It's grabbing the Lattice. All right. Going straight for the bank on that one. I think I'm going Stoneforge Mystic and just holding up Consign. I'll grab Cauldra and hope another turn comes my way. There are multi-turn lines here where like Karn could get Defense Grid, then resolve Lattice, but by then I will have killed the Karn. Oh, fucking hell. Ah, this card. This fucking card. Well, I obviously have to counter some amount of this. I'm going to counter the Tutor a Land. Search your library for a land, because they're exiling my Search your library for a land card. All right, that's the one I'm going to counter. They're exiling my black source instead of my white, which means I could still activate Stoneforge and plusing Karn on nothing. Now I am back in the garbage, where now I'm just going to pass the turn and hold up Consign if they cast a spell and put in Cauldra if they don't. Planar Nexus, that's 7 mana now. Now they can just work their way. Okay, they're looking for an answer to Cauldra. I have to be okay with this. Yeah, there's that. I'm still going to put in the Cauldra. I have to make them do the things. We're just dancing around this Harbinger of the Seas. Okay, yep, that's gone. Land? Thoughtseize. Happy with the Thoughtseize here. Let's put that Lattice in the graveyard, where it's a lot harder to access. And I'm gonna take a risk here and ponder. Come on, blue source. Okay, Flooded Strand is great. Flooded Strand into Polluted Delta is even better. I'm gonna put the Delta on top because if I have to fetch this turn, I would prefer there to be more Flooded Strands in my deck that I could draw to get access to basic planes. And if I don't have to cast a spell this turn, then I get to Harbinger with blue up. Okay, plus the Karn, Bajuka Bog. Those are gone. The Seiju still in their hand. Okay, so fetch for basic planes. And I guess I have to fetch here. Fetch for Tundra? No, I have double white. I don't need double black. The basic doesn't matter. All right, yeah, I'll get a Tundra, I guess. And I don't actually have Consign up. Okay, I think I'm just going to play a Tamiyo, actually. I'm just worried about what this card's going to do. Like, if I play Harbinger and my opponent grabs and deploys Liquid Metal Coating, then I lose. Cool. And the reason that they're in this game is because Sowing Mycospawn leaves this body behind, even if you counter all the other stuff it would do. Okay, I have the Consign now. Counter this, counter this. All right, that's all the modes on that handled. But now they can get and resolve a Liquid Metal Coating, if that is how they decide to use their turn. Okay, just plus Karn. Well, now I have nothing to lose. Okay, attack Karn. My clues don't work, but let's put them into play. Okay, Harbinger. And now I'm just looking for anything that does anything. If I can get through this 3/3 body, I can start attacking Karn down. Karn could just like wish for a Walking Ballista here and remove my Harbinger. Yep. Yeah, so the punt in game 1 causing this game 3 to happen, and then game 3, my opponent casting multiple Sowing Mycospawns against my control deck. It's just literally impossible to play Magic. Ponder, a Wasteland, a Force of Will, and a Bowmaster. Bowmaster can pressure Karn. The rest of these cards are not very good. And they don't actually, my opponent doesn't have to do anything here. All right, I guess I will put the Bowmaster in my hand. It's at least like literally something. Okay, I'm just going to concede. This game is not winnable anymore. I'm over it. A positive record with a mistake involved in the final round that could have put us that bread and butter 4-1. This deck actually felt pretty solid, except for the card Sowing Mycospawn that we can never beat. The Aetherspark was fine. I don't believe this is going to revolutionize Stoneblade. I actually think my games would have been just as good without this card in my deck. It is cool. It does stand alone. You don't actually need a creature to deploy this thing. That's helpful. Most equipment you need to put on a creature for it to do anything. That's kind of equipment's whole jam. But you can just put this into play and like plus on nothing, draw a card after 2 turns, and then hope you have a creature by then. It's pretty bad after that point. It did jump onto Cauldra multiple times in the league and quickly got to over 11 loyalty, where if I had something to do with 10 mana, I could have had it. But outside of the Aetherspark, just the strategy in general, the 4 Wastelands actually came up strong against a bunch of opponents, and then the Thoughtseize, Tamiyo. I mean, Thoughtseize plus Tamiyo, you could put it in any shell, and your deck will be pretty reasonable, have a puncher's chance against anything. Stoneforge Mystic actually feels good. I like that our mana is solid. You can play basics. We could actually play more basics than this. There should definitely be a Meticulous Archive in this Tundra slot. Make that change immediately. We didn't really play any fair back and forth matches where Pre-More Formalware would do what it's supposed to do. This my Bowmasters never died. I either won or lost the game with them still in play. But my god, that last round versus the Sowing Mycospawns, when we were like jockeying back and forth, they resolved the card and they had the lattice, weren't quite ready to cast the lattice. I was trying to figure out how much I could deploy while still leaving up Consign, and then they just played a card that requires 3 counterspells, and you had to fully tap out. And even though I countered one of the modes, I literally had Consign in my hand, but they still got to take one of my lands out, and then the 3/3 body just protected Karn for long enough for Karn to dominate the entire game. Maybe it's just a fair rock, paper, scissors kind of thing where Sowing Mycospawn's not that good against combo and it's really good against control, or maybe it's completely suppressing an entire macro archetype from the entire Legacy format, the fact that it exists at all. Let's not let the misery of Sowing Mycospawn be the final note. This deck actually was a lot of fun. The Aetherspark came into play multiple times. It did stuff multiple times. And this league was pretty dope overall. Brendan, thank you for sharing this. Everyone, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.